evening, Nigeria. Welcome to another gripping edition of Some TV Today's Politics. This is where the stage is set and the actors, they are restless, and the drama never takes a break. I'm your host, Abraham Minor Joda. And tonight, we're going to pull back the curtains of the political intrigues, shaking the very pillars of our democracy. In Nigeria, political loyalty is as fleeting as the Harmattan breeze. And as the old proverb goes, yesterday's sworn enemy may dine together today, while today's brother may prepare their knives for tomorrow's battle. That is the way politics goes in Nigeria. There is no permanent friend, only permanent interest. So yes, welcome to the grand theater of Nigerian politics, where the scripts are unpredictable, the alliances are ever-shifting, and the plot rival even the juiciest Nollywood movie. And joining me tonight to dissect the turmoil rocking our major political parties, the PDP, the Labour Party, the APC, and even the one yet to be born, is a notable journalist, a politician, and a veteran observer of the power games at play. I have with me Comrade Idris Ayuba. Good evening, Comrade Idris.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome to today's politics today.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. And also with us in the studio is a respected political analyst, social commentator, and someone who is never shy to call it as it is. His name is Engineer Daniel Andefikil. Good evening, Engineer Daniel.
Yeah, it's always my pleasure to be here.
You're welcome to once again. Two of you are not visitors on this show. You've been here before, so definitely, I believe our viewers out there will know you one way or the other. Now, if you look at our political parties, there are cracks within internal party wranglings, and they will definitely have implications on the 2027 general elections. So together we are going to unpack the situation. Let us look at the crisis of the internal democracy onto the parties. There's no party free of those internal democracies, if you ask me. Look at the legal chaos everywhere, the factional meetings, the INEC tightrope walk, because even INEC itself sometimes finds itself in a situation whereby it doesn't know who to go with, and then also the parties are scared of violating INEC's regulations. So, and of course, we look at how these shape the defections, the alliances, the coalition, political realignment, and heading into 2027. So let's brace ourselves, because tonight the gloves are going to come up. It's going to be raw and uncut. But before we go into discussion, before I bring my guest in to have this discussion, to do the analysis, let us look at some stories that broke today. For the APC, Ali Bukar Dalori has taken over as the acting national chairman of the All Progressive Congress APC following Abdullahi Ganduje's resignation. And here's what has happened. Dalori is on June 30, 2025. Today, after Ganduje's resignation and President Bola Tinubu's directive, he promised to leave the party with transparency, inclusiveness, and unity of purpose. Now, Ganduje stepped down as APC national chairman due to health reasons. He has been serving since August 2023. And Dalori praised Ganduje's leadership, saying he proved experienced leadership, steadfast, committed. He's committed, and he has a clear sense of direction. While for the People's Democratic Party, he has relocated his board of trustees meeting from the Wadata Plaza National Secretariat in Abuja to the Yaradua Center to the Yaradua Center, that is at the Central Business District in Abuja. This decision comes after the party secretariat was reportedly taken over behind policemen from the FCT command, which the PDP described as harassment. So the new venue, according to information out to the press is the Yaradua Center, and then the original venue was Wadata Plaza National Secretariat. And the reason alleged takeover armed policemen to prevent the meeting. While the police responded, the FCC Police Command denied sealing of the Secretariat, stating their presence was to maintain law and order. That's the position of the police. Now let us look at this story that also broke today. That is the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party has declared his intention to run for president 2027 with one-term limit. Yeah, the key point from his declaration stated that if elected in 2027, if the agreement was for him to serve one term to leave office in 2023 in line with the mutual zoning arrangement, he is going to agree with that arrangement and do one term. That is coming from Peter Obi. I think that was in Spaces on X yesterday night, and the story is making the round today. So I think that is the background of the major stories concerning the major political players that broke today. Let me start with Engineer Andefike. I'm going to take you on the issue of the PDP. How do you think the PDP will pull itself out of this rope that is used to tighten itself by itself?
Yeah, I think the PDP have really made a very terrible mistake. Since the aftermath of the 2023 election, it's actually a build-up from that election, the fallout, the anti-party activity, the betrayals of trust and all that. In every organization, if there's airing of rules and regulation, there must be discipline. And when they fail to instill discipline in that party, I think everybody felt, okay, I can do what I want to do. So they feel, okay, I can do this and do that and nothing will happen. So it is a build-up to that. And from what we are seeing today, at the BOT meeting that was sealed, it's still about that. There are forces behind the national chairman, who is Sam Dadi, popularly called Sam Dadi. That's Sam Anyanwu. Yes, that's the national secretary, and the other faction. Sam Anyanwu is from the Wiki faction, while the other guy, that's architect Setonji, I think. Yeah, that is the acting. Yes, that one that got a judgment from the appeal court, and we have the deputy national secretary here, who is architect Setonji, who is in the camp of Sheyi Makinde. So all these things is because of ego. I see it as ego because there was an interview that the governor of Zamfara granted. It's just ego. Politics is a win and lose situation. You win some today, you lose some tomorrow. That's politics. But when you want to always be winning, it's so possible. Somebody will be like, why will this person be winning? So these are all ego. If everybody will come back to the round table, the major thing is to move our party forward. How do we do it? You, be patient. You, relax. There's too much bad blood around you. Step aside. Allow this person. Let's have somebody neutral to be there. So all these things wouldn't have happened. But for you as a party that you have to go to INEC to tell you who your national chairman is, while the Supreme Court has already decided these are internal party issues, that is to show you are not disciplined as a party. That is all. That is that is resulting to all this. I think. Yeah.
Yes. If you ask me, it's the height of disunity and ego and personal interest. That is why people who should be glued together to fight a common cause are fighting against themselves even much more than they fight against the supposed
the ruling.
I would like to ask, you're a politician, you understand this game. Some people have the opinion that with the way things are going in PDP, it is going to be a time bomb if it is not resolved amicably. If it's not resolved both amicably and in the legally, it's going to be a time bomb for anybody that runs on the platform of the PDP. Because if there's an error in the process now and the person wins the election, it's just like what happened in Zamfara. Do you think it is enough reason for people to decide to defect from the PDP?
Well, thank you for that question. For me, out of this quagmire. That is the way I understand it. It is not ordinary for you to see people leaving the party. I just recently, I saw the governor of Bayelsa State have also indicated interest to quit the party. See, people will not take that risk. Nobody will, in fact, nobody will play with such political party that is not coordinated. For me, they are not coordinated. And they can always point accusing fingers on each other. You know, when a house is divided, the next thing you'll be hearing, it is Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C that is causing the trouble. But just like Mr. Engineer and the Fiki said, it's about ego. Everybody want to feel I have the capacity. And the truth is that in politics, especially in the Nigerian context, you can be rich, you can be having the money, but if you don't have the strategy on how to bring people together, you can just be wasting your time. Okay, for example, the like of Atiku Abubakar, the like of the governor of Bauchi State, and all other people you know in PDP. These are people who have powers, who have head power, or are even in power, but they cannot control the center because of their... So, they can accuse Wike of taking over or whatever, doing whatever with the party. It's because of the way he understands the game. So, sir, for me, I don't think PDP would ever survive this. Other governors who are still patiently in the party are thinking of which direction to go. Definitely they will go. And I'm sure you would have had a lot of rumor on governors who are trying to defect. Oh, there are delays, but this delay is not as if they're having confidence in the party. The delay are born out of trying to, everybody wants his interest to be protected. If you're joining a new political party, what faith do you have on the party? You know, if you're joining APC, will your interest be protected? There should be a kind of arrangement. So, and generally, sir, this disagreement, as in disagreement is an inherent characteristic of politics. There must be. So people must disagree to agree and reach compromise. So, but where people don't want to understand, nobody go. Just like what happened in Taraba State during the governorship election.
Yes, we saw that.
So,
it points the fingers of a lot of people who ordinarily will have won, but because of their division. Now, if you look at something is happening now at the national level, SY enemies, they've looked at themselves and they say, okay, there's no point, there's no reason at this point we being different, but let us come together. And it may be a wisdom again. Don't let us come together under any shaky building. Let us go and start a fresh business. And that is, I think that is the idea behind the coalition. Rather than try to build on top a shaky foundation like the PDP and even the Labour Party. Why not just form a new party? Because I've seen they went to SDP, they had some problem. Sometimes they moved to ADC. Now they want to register their own party. Do you think they have enough time and they will have enough cooperation to see this merger or see this coalition run the way it should be run and do what APC was able to do in 2014?
Yeah, I think at least we have an antecedent, so it's very possible, but there must be seriousness because you don't have all the time in the world. Time is the gentleman, they say, but you might not have it in politics because you have to work 30 hours a day if you really want to achieve. You have to work and don't sleep for one day. So if the coalition is serious, if they want to adopt an existing party, fine. If they want to register a new party, but there must be serious because you have to communicate this message of a new party or the new party we are in to the grassroots. Definitely. People have to understand the party, know the party. People have to know the logo of the party because you thumbprint. So these things, as there is not something And how do you do that? You need to communicate. You need to get people that will do that. A Peter will be in Abuja or Lagos and Atiku in Abuja or El-Rufai there or Amici there. They are not the ones that will come to my village in Taraba, in Usa, to come and do all those things. They need people that will go there and do it. And sir, resources is involved. Are they ready to roll out the billions? Are they ready to roll out the billions? Because this thing is, if you ask me now to go down and go and do advocacy for a new political party, my accommodation, you feed me and all that. So time and money and you need people that have integrity that will go down and do the job. And you need to have somebody here again that will do the supervisory role. So they have a big task in their hand. I believe the time is short, but if they can utilize the time very well, it will make sense. Because I remember the last campaign, because I actually like relating my interactions to international politics. The election in America was supposed to hold on a Tuesday. Donald Trump's last campaign ended by 2 a.m. a day before the election. That is how serious he took the election. So I believe that if they are serious and committed to this cause, they don't have time. They don't have time. Their time starts now. So if they are serious, and Nigerians are actually looking for an opposition that they will say, okay, these people are, and if you can look at the politics, PDP have not been criticizing the government. When last did we have a PDP ESCO going to channels or coming to some TV to come and criticize the government themselves? You understand? So this is not good for our polity. Opposition is not just to unseat a sitting government. It's just to put the government. It's also to put the government and its tool to deliver on its campaign promises. That is the essence of opposition. People feel opposition is all about grabbing power from the sitting government. No, it's not about that. It's about even telling the government that you said you would do this and you didn't do it. Because of that, we feel we will do it better than you. Give us the opportunity. That is how opposition works. So I pray and hope that the opposition, with the coalition that is coming up, they should start acting fast. They should put their house in order, agree and say, okay, then start the advocacy, adopt a party, start talking to people. People should know. Because people are very familiar with APC, they are familiar with PDP. But by the time you say, okay, this is where you are now, you have to start going back to tell the people, now we are not here, we are here. This is it. So,
and it may surprise you that even though we are in the technology, there are a lot of people in the grassroots, and they vote a lot, who may not have access to
of course,
all this information.
Of course.
So you have to understand that basis. Now, this now takes me, I'm going to throw this question at you, and I know you will not help your enemy if he's run into a hole, but I want to see if you will help the PDP out. In the case of the PDP, and even the coalition, they are going to have a major problem. Now let us, and I think that problem is what Peter Obi envisaged when he said, if the agreement is, because the North have done 8 years, the South is doing 4 years now, that if we agree to that, do the 4 years and move on, whatever the coalition agree. But if you ask me, the message is trying to send out that it's still the storm of the South. Do you think that they will be able to go around this North-South zoning without some leaving to other parties? Do you think the way the APC was able to run around that circle at that period?
Well, you see, let me first of all, I don't want to mention PDP because as far as I'm concerned, they are there.
Let's talk
about coalition now. Yeah. I have to first of all commend His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, His Excellency Aregbesola, El-Rufai, Peter Obi, Yusuf Ardo, and others who came together to form that coalition. Thank them because they have succeeded in putting the government to their toes. The government of APC are working hard to make sure those people did not unseat them. And let me add to this. Asiwaju is a strategist. He's a politician to the core. is somebody that plan ahead of time. Now,
I think there's an information that just came in now. News just broken. So let us just take that news. Let's go for a short break. When we take that news, I won't. Please, sorry for cutting you short, but let us take this information. We'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, you get to hear Comrade. It was his last words that Asiwaju is a strategist. I will remind him to continue from there. Don't go anywhere. Today's Politics on Something continues.
This digital age, staying ahead of the curve is crucial for success. Turabo Business School is committed to empowering the next generation of leaders with the skills they need to thrive. We present to you our special computer training exclusively designed for SS3 and JSS3 graduates. Our comprehensive program covers a wide range of topics, including Microsoft Word, master the art of document creation and editing, unlock the power of data analysis and visualization, Microsoft Access, learn to manage and analyze data.
Welcome back to today's Politics on Sun TV. I know you were holding your breath back when we went on that break, because I'm very sure you would like to listen to what our guest was saying. And for those of you just joining us on today's Politics, I have with me two wonderful guests, and the engineer Daniel Andefike, who is a social commentator and a political analyst. Also with me as a guest today is Comrade Ayuba, who is a journalist, a veteran journalist, and also a politician to the core. So who has been in the game, he wears the boots, so he knows how to play the game. And he was talking about how the coalition can go about this North-South arrangement. So let me not, sorry for taking the words out of your mouth, so please continue.
thank you. Just like I was saying, the people who brought about this coalition have done well, and they are doing what is expected because they are supposed to engage the government. The government is supposed to know that they have strong opposition that is checkmating whatever they are doing. So I think they have done well in that aspect. However, I look at the objective, some of the objective of the coalition. The first thing is unseating the government of Asiwaju. Youth engagement. So what new thing are they bringing on board? Almost all of them have held one political office or the other. In fact, Atiku was first elected as a governor before he was taken as vice president. Peter Obi was a former governor. Aregbe Shola achieved in the past that they are coming back to achieve now. What went wrong? You see, Nigerians have to be convinced that they are bringing something new. I saw a viral video where former Vice President Atiku Abubakar was saying we are going to show capacity like we shown before. Capacity? How? What capacity? So, sir, like I said earlier, coalition is good. They should keep on so that the government can do the needful. But Asiwaju is far ahead of them in planning. He's a strategist. This is very patient. Far. Now coming back to what Peter Obi said. Peter Obi is trying to provide a solution to them. If they had given the tickets of the PDP to the South, just like the APC gave their own to the South, to Asiwaju, the result wouldn't have been the same. Buhari did his 8 years, 2 terms in office. Atiku was coming back to continue again. This country is not made for the Southerner. I mean, the northern Nigeria alone. It has been a tradition in this country. Once the North go for a time, it will be taken back to the South. That has been a tradition. But at a point in time, Atiku insisted that he was going to be the one to run.
Okay.
And at a point, people like Wike and others said, look, we rather vote for a southerner than repeat a northerner. And they were right. So if they listen to the advice of Peter Obi, not necessarily give it to him, let them look for a southerner, one southerner to contest against Asiwaju, not going back to the north again to pick a candidate. I think if they do that, the coalition will go back and be like the PDP.
Do you agree that? I want to pick 2 points from this. One is of the opinion that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a strategist and is way ahead of that is one. Then 2, do you think at this point, if with the situation of things on ground, do you think we should look at where the president comes from, or we should just focus on the best person to do the job?
Yeah, we all know that Asiwaju is a dogged politician, a very patient one, a very good planner. But as an opposition, he was able to do very well with that. But now he has the power. Let's look at the indices. Let's look at how the country is. Let's look at what is happening in the country. I'm not taking away the fact that he's a master planner. He's a strategist. Yes, he is good at that. He understands the game. But after politics, governance, how has he fared as a president? What are the indices? Inflation, things that affect the common man, prices of energy, price of electricity. These are the things that we should be talking about. If we are talking about, okay, yeah, he's good. Yeah, why not bring that goodness? Why not bring that doggedness? Why don't you bring that being political savvy to government and, okay, make the people enjoy, make the people happy? Then he actually mentioned somebody that I revere so much. He mentioned the name of Atiku Abubakar, the Wazir in Adama. We call him in local parlance the Wazir in Dukdunia.
Well, it's still the Wazir based on the letter.
Yeah.
Written by the...
Yeah, I think the governor is really making a mistake, but I don't want to go into that because Atiku didn't even respond. That, as he always is, he didn't even bother responding to that because Fintiri is just actually coming up into the game of politics. So maybe in some few years he will understand, just like Boni Haruna and Bindo understood and are now turning back to him and all that. Why, if we can only even go back to 2007, those years that our debts were being paid off, inflation was low, foreign directed investment was high, energy cost of energy was low, cost of electricity was low. I think that is where Atiku is coming from. That is how we look at him. When you look at the privatization that he did with the GSM thing that he did and all that, see how much was SIM then? It was in the region of 50, 40, 30,000. But SIM, they can even dash you SIM today, you know, and all that. This is how effective Atiku Abubakar is. I understand he's not so conservative. That is why people don't really... He is a very, very liberal Muslim, and people feel and all that he's not sectionalized. Yes, of course. He doesn't, but he's somebody that has spread all over. If you look at the people around him, he embraces everybody. If you look at his wives, they are all over Borno and all that. He's somebody that brings everybody. That is why. But when the end point of politics for me is governance. How has somebody fared in governance? And bringing my thoughts to your second question about where the candidate of the coalition comes from, I think we should start going past that. I know, people might feel embittered and all that, but if you look at Atiku, for example, he's from the Northeast. The Northeast have never produced the presidency. The North Central have never produced the presidency. And the Southeast have never produced it. And in politics, as an opposition, you don't share what you don't have. It's when you get the ball, or when the ball is in your possession, that you try to score. Yeah, you pass to score. So that is how politics is. I can assure you that if Asiwaju stood against Jonathan in 2015, he would have lost.
He will have lost, definitely.
Definitely. But they went for the best person that they know that, okay, let's bring this person, and if we join forces with him, the person will win. That is political strategy. It is how has Katsina fared today? Katsina is the abode of bandits.
Yes.
Jonathan was president for 6 or thereabout years. How has Bayelsa fared? People are crying of hunger, poverty is everywhere. What about Ogun State, where Obasanjo came from? So I feel and I believe that we should start moving in every part of the country. But first and foremost, you have to win election. You have to get power before you share power.
Yes, you have to win election before you begin to share power. You can't share what you have. You can't be without the ball and begin to aim to take a shot. So that is the position of engineer and Fikil. Now going to governance. Yes, just like he said, nobody, I've not seen anyone that would doubt the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a master strategist when it comes to politics. But if you look at the way things are, as they apply that level of strategic thinking to governance, as they applied it to governance, and you look at the indices. Is the indices speaking about him the way he spoke about him during the election?
More than what Asiwaju have done. The boldness, the courage. You don't have to live life in pretense. Nigeria was actually passing through a serious problem. We were borrowing, servicing some things at home. Let me just give you one example. If in your house, you only need a tin, let me say a bag of rice in your entire household. You only need a bag of rice in your house for a whole month. But you decided to be extravagant in your spending. You borrow money, spend it extravagantly, or maybe consume up to 5 or 6 bags of rice in your house. You are living large. Well, in the actual science, you have problem. That is the kind of life Nigeria was living in the past. Asiwaju only took the bomb out of it together. Some of his policies, of course, no doubt, we are feeling it. But if you look at it critically, once we are out of it, we are out of it forever. For example, today, the Naira have stabilized. Even though it has not come down, it has stabilized. That will encourage investors to come. At least they are sure of what they are coming. Not something that today you are into business, tomorrow you change. You know, the instability in Naira is a major problem. His policies have stabilized that. Now, of course, we are suffering it. But sir, like I said when I came here the other time, you have to look at other tiers of government. The money of the fairness of governance. If we have removed the fuel subsidy, we have the resources. What are we supposed to do? Pass it down to state to local government. Let the people feel the impact of governance.
But the people are saying they are not feeling the impact.
It shouldn't be. Then the blame shouldn't be just on the president. Okay. Let's also look at other. Yes, of course. As a leader, no matter how it happens, people must blame you. But it shouldn't be a process. And for me, those reforms that follow up, look at the tax reform that comes up. People with smaller businesses will no longer pay tax. If you are not earning up to 50 million, you will not pay any tax. So you see, they have reduced the cost of people doing business in the country. So many other good things. So when people talk of we are suffering, look, sir, governance is about, taking that decision that you know that at the end of it all, people will say thank you.
So, do you, engineer?
Yeah.
Now we all agree that we're going through very tough period.
Yeah.
We've never had it this tough.
Well, very terrible. Yeah.
Always say Nigeria is tough, but this time
this
around,
is
it's tough. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Do you think, with the way things are going, with the way the government is running, do you think Nigerians will say thank you if it continues like this?
Yeah, the problem is that it's antecedents. Buhari had 8 years. The same APC were telling us that we should be patient, it will get better, and no. I remember some years ago when they give you anti-malaria, you first get sick, something like that before you get well. But these days, if they give you anti-malaria, you start feeling relief immediately, like after day one. This is what we want. You can't come and tell us that, no, you have to endure. We have endured 8 years of Buhari, for goodness sake. And you are still telling us to endure again. That is where the problem is. Had he meant after 4 years of Buhari, then the next 4 years, yeah, things got better. Then now, things are getting better. But we were even complaining about Buhari's regime. Then this just came from nowhere. And let's not forget, there is a very popular statement that said the buck stops on the president's state. That if you know who made that statement, it is the same as Shuaju we are talking about. He was the one that made that statement. That is to say the buck stopped on his table. That is one. Secondly, I want to lay a little emphasis about subsidy removal. In 2014 or 13-14, I dare about, President Jonathan removed some subsidy. The major people that fought against that removal of subsidy was Ashwaju. So where is the sincerity of purpose? If that subsidy removal is the game changer, why did he stop Jonathan? Or why did he fight Jonathan from removing it? That is where I have problem with that. And when you talk about the Naira, floating of Naira and all that, let's be sincere. For goodness and investment. 2 days or 3 days ago, we barely had $40 million foreign direct investment that flew into this country. That is to say that that policy is not working for this country. And when you talk about, okay, the, what do you call it, the subvention of state have tripled, at what value? For goodness sake, inflation has killed it. We used to buy a bag of cement before Tinubu came 3,000, 3,500. Today it's around 11,000. So that value, that money value that we are saying that the money has tripled, I am not excusing any governor for not doing his work. I'm not excusing any elected official of government, but for goodness sake, these policies has really messed things up. And I don't see Nigerians saying thank you to Asiwaju Tinubu for this. And let me even tell you, you see, the problem with governance is that when you say, okay, you take what belongs to all of us and give somebody to give us back. What is the essence of doing that? Why not leave the subsidy? Since it's the only thing we enjoy, even in America, they subsidize some things. During COVID, agriculture was subsidized. All the goods for farmers were bought, and government distributed it to people that were really affected with COVID. I even sent it to some countries. That give somebody and say the person will give me. We are all human beings. These governors are human beings. They are not omni whatever. So they are because you can. If you are so bold, you didn't even tell us who were even enjoying the subsidy.
Yes.
Those subsidies that you are even talking about, where is the money? Because during your presidency, we have borrowed more money. So it's expected that after saving all this subsidy money, those money were used. We would have seen infrastructure. I can't point out to any project. All my travels recently to make Bakodi, Benue, Gombe, Bauchi and all that, you hardly see federal government projects. People are suffering and all that. So I want to plead on the government that they should come and rethink. Because in as much as I am not APC, but I want the APC to work. I want the government to work because it is my time that is wasting. My time doesn't months and years to my years.
So bills, you're adding bills.
Yeah, I'm adding bills. So I pray because it has reached to that. Because the government says this is just what we can offer you. Either take it or leave it. But I believe that maybe somehow, and look at even insecurity. Look at what you see, how many people in the last 1 year or 2 years, more than 600,000 people have done. There, how many trillions were given for ransom, how many people were kidnapped and all that. The story everywhere when you carry the newspaper is so bad. So I just hope that the government will do something about it.
Yes, we hope the government will do something about it. Now, coming to Comrade, do you think Nigerians, we understand for the point of view that we need to take our decisions? Or Nigerians will look at the fact that for years we've been having it hard. So at least we thought it's going to bring a succor relief. Unfortunately, things went even harder than it is. Do you think this will affect the way Nigerians will vote in 2027?
Well, you see, act of governance is something that is in stages, like I told you. And people, like he said, people are after what they can see. But as Asiwaju said this, even before his election, he knew that some of these policies, some of this program would be very hard. Those things will hit us hard. But like one leader once said, when you injure and a doctor is trying to apply some medication, you are feeling pain, will he just leave it because you are feeling pain? He has to ensure he's aware of what people are passing through. And of course,
that was the word President Buhari used.
The President Buhari said, I assure you, that one unaware. So what I'm saying is the government is aware of what Nigerians are passing through. But sir, Asiwaju is a human being. No leader will be happy that he's in power and people are suffering. But like I said, when you know you are on track, when you know that the step you have taken is the right step, you will not just leave it because somebody somewhere is crying. No, you have to take it to the end. And it has become a tradition. He just mentioned Jonathan regimes, he mentioned some of the policies in 2007 or whatever. When those policies came up, people were still complaining. People were not still happy. But when years pass, people start appreciating it. So he said Nigeria will not say thank you to Asiwaju. But now they may not say thank you, but I know later they will say thank you.
Yeah, well, the way things have been going in Nigeria for years.
I'm sorry, before you continue, you said whether or not something will affect the voting pattern.
How people will vote.
Sir, you see, it's one thing to have people, so many people contesting. It's another thing to have somebody that is standing firm. People love leaders that are courageous. You know, there are leaders who does not pretend. Somebody, okay, sorry to say this, President Muhammadu Buhari, a respected northerner. I'm sure even if he's come back today, people will still go for him. There were some policies he brought up that people were celebrating. But in actual sense, they didn't realize that those policies were bad or they were just building on nothing until he parted office. And he were doing that just, he has this passion of talaka. If you come to him with the mindset that this thing he do with talaka, that's cash transfer. So those things he was doing is just to make sure people are doing well. But in the actual sense, so some of those policies affected us as a Nigerian. So I want my brother Adefiki. She didn't look at it as an APC team. He was speaking. It's not an APC team. Yeah. Governance is continuous.
Yes.
So people should have confidence in this government, and I'm sure, I repeat again, that before the end of the tenure, people will say thank you.
Well, that is Comrade Idris Ayuba there. He said people will say thank you before the end of his tenure. Well, we're going to go for a short break now. We're at the top of the hour, so we will come back, and I'm very sure when we come back, you also tell us thank you, because we're also going to give opportunity and be part of this program. So don't go anywhere, Some TV. Today's politics continue after this break.
In today's digital age, staying ahead of the curve is crucial for success. Turabo Business School is committed to empowering the next generation of leaders with the skills they need to thrive. We present you our special computer training exclusively designed for SS3 and GSS3 graduates. Our comprehensive program covers a wide range of topics, including Microsoft Word, master the art of document creation and editing, unlock the power of data analysis and visualization, Microsoft Access, learn to manage and analyze database, Microsoft PowerPoint, create stunning presentations that captivate audiences, graphic design using CorelDRAW, unleash your creativity and design skills, Photoshop, enhance your image editing skills and create stunning visuals, programming using web design, build dynamic websites and web applications, database development, learn to design and manage databases, UI/UX design, create user-friendly and intuitive interfaces. At the Turabo Business School, we believe in creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals. Our experienced instructors will guide you every step of the way, providing you with hands-on training and mentorship. Don't miss this opportunity to gain a competitive edge. Contact us today to learn more about our program and register for the next session. Call 080-6026-9140, 070-6342-8464 or 090-1010-8844 between 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Turabo Business School, creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals. Join us today and unlock your full potential. Turabo Business School, opposite Civil Service Commission, Hamarua Way, Jalingo, Turabo State. Empower yourself with the skills of the future. Register now.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride your way. Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride your way.
Welcome back to today's Politics on Sun TV. We've been having a very, very wonderful discussion here with my two wonderful guests, Engineer Daniel Fikir and Comrade Idris Ayuba. And we'll be speaking the state of our party politics in Nigeria, the rancor between the parties. And we've also spoken about governance because there's no way to talk about the reason why we're involved in politics is to give good governance. So politics without governance amounts to a football game without goals. That's the way I see it. So we've spoken about that. There's also this issue that we are going to touch. We've spoken about the issue of the coalition, the PDP. Now let's talk about the ruling party. The ruling party itself is not a fortress because we've seen some cracks in their ranks, especially the past 2-3 weeks of the issue of the vice presidency. What happened at the rumors, and even when the the chairman resigned, they said it was all in the scheme of how to bring in someone from the northwest. So there have been rancor. The APC itself is not. There's some rumbling on the ground, and we also have the issue of even rumor went round over the weekend concerning the SDF resigning but it was all a rumor. But once rumors start going like that, there is people are testing the ground. Now, we are going to go into that, but you can join us on this program. Our number to call will display on the screen is 070-3854-3606. You can call in to be part of this wonderful discussion that we are having. But before we do that, let me start with the comrade. Comrade, it's for health reasons. Why did the national chairman resign? Is it connected to the issue you have with the vice president?
Well, I don't think so. The national chairman stated his reason that it was based on the health issue. If he himself have stated that his resignation is based on health issue, any other thing that anybody will bring on is just mere speculation. It has nothing to do with that. And just like you said, the issue of vice presidency and what happened in Gombe and other things. I was in Gombe. I was right in the venue of the occasion. And sir, look, what is happening is just a game of who is to succeed the current president. People have started scheming on how to have somebody from the north that will succeed Asiwaju after his second time. That is the game. And some people feel with Kashif Shettima coming back again for the second time, by then he'll be strong and he would like to contest for the presidency. Secondly, there is another agitation, which I know very well too, that let there be a Christian vice president. That one too is on the pipeline. But in all of this, that is politics. In politics, there will always be scheming. People are scheming. But I stated here that Asiwaju is a master strategist. All this noise, all this agitation, he is quietly watching and studying situations.
Okay, he's quietly watching and studying situations. Do you think with this ambition, ambition is still very, very strong. Do you think you'll be able to manage the ambition of all this? They are looking at, for not even the value, they are looking at after 6 years, in 6 years' time. Do you think you'll be able to manage the ambition the way he was able to manage Lagos?
Yeah, you can give it to him that they're always that he can actually manage the situation, but sometimes things can go out of hand. Because what is brewing might be something that will explode. And before I continue, I want to talk about the Ganduje. Yeah, I don't want to be more Catholic. Ganduje said he's resigning. But let's not forget that Ganduje is also heading FAN, that's Federal Airport Authority. And he has not tendered his resignation for that. So is he really resigning for everything or allow the political pundits? Coming back to Asiwaju managing the situation, I think politics is very, very dynamic. In 2023, he had to use the Muslim community to getting power, managing it is another thing. So I think he's looking at his options now, because if you look at it critically, he has really lost the support of the parliament. So he is looking at his options now. Okay, who do I bring in? Who do I work with? Who do I run with now in the next election? Okay, he's now looking at northern Christians. Can I pacify them now? Can I bring in someone that will have the numbers that will really do it? Because now, if you look at what he's doing, he's trying to consolidate himself. That's why he's trying to bring in everybody in the South, unite the South, then get what he can get from the maybe North Central, because I can assure you that the far North, I have even said it that they have played everywhere and they have seen where and where they go. And you know that here he's not trying to say this is it. And I think there was a big mistake in India. I wasn't there, he was there, but I think the vice president, who's from the North, supposed to be the leader of that party. But if you even look at the billboard, his picture was not even there. He was not even at the finals. What is more important that a very big event like this will be happening to him as the vice president, and I'm not there. And if you look at it politically, the national security advisor, but with time, all these things will come. And I hope and God is as savvy as we know to be able to manage this
situation. That is a very big question. And now that brings us to the issue of the far North, their voting pattern. Yeah. We know how they vote. Because if you ask me, if you look at the pattern, the way the southern governors are moving into PDP, into APC, they're beginning to create an impression that, okay, this is our own, let us stay with him. What if the North to decide that, since the southern governors have decided to say, this is our own, whatever the situation is, let me go with it. What if the North to decide that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, maybe El-Rufai, maybe Kwankwaso, that is if he doesn't join the APC, that this is our own, let us stay with it. Do you think that it will favor Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Sir, all this agitation from, in fact, let me even answer my brother and the Fiki. Who did Asiwaju lost in the North? Who? We only many senators from Kano have joined the APC.
Nasir El-Rufai.
Nasir El-Rufai as a person. We lost him, we won many. So, Asiwaju, look, Northerners, no matter what is happening, Northerners are very, very conscious of the fact that let me succeed Asiwaju. So just wait, with time, everybody will come and try to do eye service in order to impress Asiwaju. So that Asiwaju will say, okay, because of your loyalty, let me fix you. Look, I said it earlier here that it is normal. This coalition that come on board is good. At least it will put the government to their toes. But I'm telling you, nothing will happen in that far North. Abdul Aziz Yari and co are still there. They are trying to see how they even come close to the governor, to the president. And their aim, like I said earlier, is to win the heart of the president, so that the president will look toward their direction as a successor. So they will do everything possible to impress him. So I did not see the president having any problem from the North.
Even if maybe the coalition fits someone like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is not contesting the presidency for the first time, sir. He contested against Asiwaju last time. See, people are getting aware every day. It has become, the situation in the country, it's not too bad that people will say, hey, we don't want to hear about any Southerner. It must have to be, the two must complement each other. The North and the South must complement each other.
What if they repair the mistake of 2023 and then they feel Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi? What if they are able to correct that? That
is a very good combination that will make the election tough, but they will never win against Asiwaju.
You sure?
Yes. They had the opportunity in 2023. If they had done that, the situation wouldn't have been the same. But they missed it. So, Asiwaju will finish. Now, look, okay. If they are feeling Obi and Atiku, who is the president? Atiku will be the president.
Let's look at the president.
People like Wike will still repeat the same thing. Let the Southerner complete their 8 years, and then we can give it to any other person in the North. It's a simple calculation. no matter how much we are feeling bad about this, but this is a tradition. It has come to stay. Maybe in due course, in time to come, Nigerians will say, we don't care wherever you're coming from. But for now, that tradition is sacrosanct.
Well, do you think Obi Atiku combination will break that tradition?
I can assure you today, by 12 noon on election day, I can assure you, I like following antecedents. In 2019, Atiku Obi, on the same ticket, they got almost 12 million votes. In 2023, Atiku and Obi separately got almost 13 million votes. Almost 14 million, I think, because Atiku had 6.9, and this guy had, so around 13 million votes. Asiwaju had 8-point-something million votes. And I can assure you, in 2027, Asiwaju will not get those numbers because many people are not feeling good about this. I can assure you, if we have that ticket, 12 noon, I'm going to call you and tell you that they will decline. I'm telling you, the numbers are there. Many people might feel, okay, yes, because of one thing or the other. Maybe some people will feel it's supposed to be Obi, not Atiku. It's supposed to be Atiku, but I can assure you that the North will consolidate around Atiku this time. And if Obi bring those numbers from the South, that's all. Victory is out. Yes.
But with all moving to
the governors doesn't matter. I think Ndumi made one statement. He said the governors are moving, but are the people moving? The governors may be happy that Asiwaju tripled allocation for them, but me in Taraba here is my salary or allocation tripled. That is the problem.
You're looking like someone that has triple allocation.
So that is the problem. So that is why the people, and it has gotten to a stage now. Before, if you hear a governor or a senator out of the campaign, you will feel. But these days, people feel it's a norm now. It's a norm for a governor. Look at what happened to the governor of Akwa Ibom State when he wanted to become. He said people should move. People told him that they will not move. He was shocked. That is how bad things are now. That people are telling the governor that we are not moving. If you move, he has moved now. You will see what will happen in Akwa Ibom in 2027. I can assure you.
Right.
That you, even in Delta State, the vice president of Atiku, don't forget, is from Delta. The governor, that he was the sitting governor and he's the vice presidential candidate. But do you know that he lost that state to Peter Obi? That is how it is. The politicians are moving because they feel it's a safe haven, but the people are not moving.
But do you
the people are just looking now and waiting for.
Do you think those who support Peter Obi will accept him to be?
Yeah, I can assure you that they will, because I was on the space yesterday. I listened to Peter Obi before his presence on the space and the interaction we are having with Obedience and all that on X, formerly Twitter. And I can assure you that it was toxic, it was a brickbat, it was fight and all that. But immediately when Obi said he's open to join, do you know that we started following each other? There was a kind of excitement. People, okay, since Obi said this, you understand? We in the other side were already tweeting, forwarding his message, sharing his messages. Them from the other side, okay, they are embracing us and all that. I can assure you that if this tempo is maintained, now Atiku is already being forced to go on Twitter space and talk to people too. There are other leaders. People want to hear from them directly. People want to ask them questions. What do you want to do? Because people are feeling the heat and all that. I can see the only thing that will save Asiwaju if the coalition gets this right is for him to perform. Just have a turnaround. Let people start smiling and be happy. Anything other than that, if they get it right with a good combination, good ticket in 2027, 12 noon.
12 noon, we should be ready. Now, they say everything is local. Let us come home. Let us come back home because they say charity begins at home. Whatever happens at the national, it will affect us. But again, we need to look at what's going on here from the APC. Do you think your party has any plans of being an opposition to the government Because I don't see any plans on ground. If you ask me, I may be wrong.
I don't know what you mean by plan, but I do know that APC is putting her head together. They have actually sat in several occasions, deliberated over their mistakes, and the discussion is still ongoing. And I'm sure that the discussion is yielding result, because even the acting national chairman attended the meeting twice, where stakeholders resolved their issues. We all know what played out. We know there were mistakes. Those mistakes were avoidable, but just like I cited here earlier, when people do things because they think they have powers to do it, without minding how others will feel, they will definitely react. And their reaction may bring in bad results. So I think there were a lot of things that went wrong in 2023 in Taraba State APC. And measures have been taken to put those things together. And just like my brother Ndefiki said, if our governor changes, do what is needful, people will say continue and finish a year. But if things continue the way they are at the moment, well, it's not going beyond 2020.
Well, with policies like Tara Vest, the renovations and refurbishing and rest, do you think, with the pre-education policy of the government, do you think if we continue at this tempo, it's going to have a smooth running in 2027?
I don't see that coming, because I'm one of those people that had high hopes. He's youthful. He's from a military background. You know, they are very thorough, disciplined, and all that. Then to even cap it up, apart from the military background, he held a very, very important agency, the NIMASA. Then he became the party chairman. So I expect him to be able to balance administration and politics. But I am afraid. What I'm saying, yeah, he started very well. We're seeing upcoming projects, but everything just stopped. So what is even happening? What is happening? Look at this policy on education, free education. Good policy. But look at what is happening. Even the uniforms, after 2 years, we are not seeing them. Look at the schools. Terrible conditions. It is so bad in some schools that because of the WAEC that was written, some students have to be sent home early so that these classes will be used to write WAEC and all that. I am seriously disappointed. Personally, I am. I don't know about any other person, but for me, it's bad. It is now so bad that some people have gotten their salaries and some people have not gotten. I met somebody today, this morning, and the person was complaining bitterly. Since last month, how will somebody work for a month? Even when you earn salary, sir, how are you even faring in this economy that you don't even get your salary? So it's so bad. Look at the trailer park, good policy. School of nursing, good policy. Abattoir, good policy. Even the palliative market, good commodity. Even this project close to the secretariat. Okay, though I would have even preferred that money that is invested there, they should innovate the
stadium
complex, sport complex. For if I were the one, I would have opted for that and even give the federal government that place to do the federal secretariat, which is even close to the state secretariat. You understand? These are some of the things that people were optimistic, people were like looking up to, but after 2 years, what are we going to point to? What are we going to point to? If I want to campaign for you now, if I want to go and if you give me maybe your daughter wrote exam WAEC and give me, if she got A's and B's and C's, I will be so confident to go and meet somebody and say, this is my friend's daughter. She wants admission. She wants to study medicine. She wants to study law. She wants to study history. You understand? But if the person gets pass and F9, How will I go and confidently? So if I'm made a campaign manager now to go to my village and talk to the people, what will I be telling them?
This is a very strong one from engineer Daniel. I know him. He has very strong opinions about issues, which is always good for discussions because you speak the truth,
You die.
you don't speak the truth.
You die.
Do you well, I think we're getting close to the end of this discussion. We're supposed to end it by 7:30. Now, Comrade Ayuba Idris, what's your? Let me come. 2027 is coming. I'm going to throw this question to two of you. Going to be seeing posters from you.
Oh, from me?
From you?
No,
yes.
no, no, no.
You
You see, when I came here the last time, you asked me the same question, and I told you
3 days is
yes,
like
and I
30
told
years in
you
politics.
I have not made up my mind for that. Of course, like I said earlier, I have strong political ambition, and I've been working on it from my childhood. But it's about time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
yes.
I'm not coming out to contest for anything anytime soon. I've not made up my mind. I have not made up my mind.
That is good. It's valid. But you know, in Nigerian politics, people can help you. What if your community comes up and say Shimukezo? Will you take the decision?
You see, there is a saying that he who lacks opinion of his own is a slave. Sometimes you don't look at what people are saying. You have eye, you have ear, you are seeing things. You should be able to know when is the right time to strike. If you follow what people say or the way people do that, when you land yourself in the mood, the same people will come and say.
There's a say, when you are dancing,
yes,
you're checking your back, so that at the end of the day, maybe people have left you. Yes. So when you are busy dancing, they are beating drums for you. When you are dancing, be checking, because at the end of the day, you know those days of Abuja, let's go. You know that your guys have
left you already. Yeah, you're all over.
Yeah, Engineer Advocate. Going to see you once again on the ballot?
No, I don't have immediate plans actually. You know, I've run for election before and all that, but for now, I'm still looking at the terrain because the truth is that politics is expensive. Not just in Nigeria, even in America. If you know how much they pay for TV ads and all that, and here we've not gotten to a stage where people really contribute for you. You have to. You bring out the money. Yes.
People want to even collect from you.
Yeah, so that is just the problem. As simple as even telling somebody to go and take a message to somewhere, they will tell you that you should give them transport and all that. That is how bad it is. So you need to really prepare yourself financially, especially before you go. So I don't think I am prepared yet now, but I would love to be in government because the truth is that we can't just sit outside and be lamenting. Yeah, if they are not doing it, let's do it. I remember some years, 30 years ago, and all that Obama was president. I think he was mocking Donald Trump and all that. Then Trump said, "Okay, if that's the case, I'll run." Then Trump just came down from his tower in that golden escalator to tell his people that he's going to run. And today he was 45, and now he's the 47th president of America. So I think because he felt that there are many things that are happening going wrong in America, and nobody is even seeing it, talking more of fixing it, and he feels. And luckily for him, he's a very rich guy. He came from a humble background and all that. So I think if with time, actually,
let's keep our fingers crossed. So I'm giving politicians maybe just tomorrow I may just see a poster between Agbada and playing. So thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine.
Thank you,
thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
And today we really have a wonderful discussion. I'm sure next time when I call on you, you will certainly be. Yeah, thank you very much.
Friends of the house.
Yeah, yes, they are friends of the house.
Thank you so much.
Well, this brings us to the end of today's edition of today's Politics on Soft TV. we've had a wonderful discussion, and I'm very sure those of you out there, you've really been educated and informed, and you've been enlightened with the discussions we had today. And the analyst I had with me was a member of the APC, political analyst too, and also a media person of high esteem. And also I had engineer Daniel and Fikir, who's a well-known supporter of Donald Trump, and AA was in Dunia. He's also a very good political analyst, and also a lover of, if you want to listen, I'm going to bring him on the World News one day to speak on international politics, and you will really be excited about his views.